Hey everyone, welcome back to Rewind and React, the music video podcast. I'm Adam Elterhooney,
And this is Rob Pine.
and today we're going to start probably a series. We'll see how long we want to take it on artists with dollar bill signs in their name. There's actually more than you would expect out there. And yeah, we're going to try to cover some of their hit songs. But before we hop into the artist, first of all, actually like and subscribe if you haven't yet, or leave a like or whatever you guys do out there in the world. The second thing is on a recent episode for Californication, Rob mentioned the lead singer of the Red Hot Chili Peppers as Anthony Cletus, which is wrong. We know it's Anthony Kiedis, but I may have noticed and I couldn't tell for sure. And then I got some feedback that was a little wrong. So we wanted to make sure we clear that up, right, Rob?
You know what's crazy is for the last 20 to 25 years, I've been calling him Anthony Cletus, and nobody has ever corrected me. It's just, I guess he doesn't come up in conversation that often, but this is the first time I'm hearing that it's Kiedis, and I was like, oh man, I could see that making more sense. But it's, I learned something new today.
Today, we're going to talk about a fairly new artist called bbno money. But if you read his name, it looks like bbnos with a dollar sign as the S. And this song is 1-800.
Still on that 1-800, hit me up for a good time. My shit bonds till it push me out of line. You can't spell my name without the dollar sign. Rainbow money, take whatever, yes, I'm colorblind.
The music video for 1-800 is hyper stylized. It is chaotic, and it is a visual blend of both live action and VTuber aesthetics. We'll get into that later, but it doesn't really follow a traditional narrative. Instead, it kind of unfolds with the sequence of loosely connected visual set pieces. The video leans heavily into an absurdist humor with rapid cuts and just off the wall imagery. We see bbno money as a personality navigating this world of flashy visuals and exaggerated capitalism. And alongside him is Ironmouse, who appears as an animated character, reinforcing this theme of a digital celebrity culture.
The first time I watched this video and I heard Ironmouse, I was like, okay, I don't know who Ironmouse is. And then this animated character was throughout the whole video. And I was like, okay, maybe that's just his aesthetic. He's trying to reach all audiences. And then I later, doing research, realized Ironmouse is a VTuber, as you just mentioned. She's done a lot of VTubing work, and she has a medical condition that has shifted her away from doing live kind of music when I think she started in her career, and she learned about VTubing and she wanted to keep making music and created this VTube personality, which I thought was kind of interesting. And it's cool, that we're at that age, right? In technology, not as we're old, but we're also old. But you can create this persona, and we've seen it with famous examples of the Gorillas where they use animated characters for the artist. But VTubers are the perfect example of people who can make music and be kind of digitally animated and still pursue their music career without having to be a face of something.
Yeah, it feels very Ready Player One, doesn't it? The whole VTuber thing. And I'll be honest, the first couple times I saw this video, I just thought that was a little animated thing they added into the video. I did not know who Ironmouse was, but upon researching it for this, I found out who she is. She does do the voice, the female voice that you hear in this with the almost idol-like chant, surreal feeling. Once I got, really started digging into the video, it made a lot more sense to have her in this because at the heart of this video, we see bbno money as a product, right? The titular line says, he's something for sale, dial 1-800 to buy this, right? The opening shot, we see him with the newspaper and it says under $300 a night. There's a lot of capitalism driven stuff where the artist is a product. I think it's really cool that the way that we're seeing it unfold here in the video with the VTuber, because that's kind of the future a little bit of these musical personalities. Like you said, it doesn't have to be Kesha up on a stage. There's another dollar sign for you. It could be Kesha behind a motion capture camera or however they're doing this.
Yeah, and it's cool just talking about bbno money also is that SoundCloud, I don't want to call him generation, but he's a SoundCloud artist, SoundCloud rapper, which we've seen is also a new openness where you can produce your own music, you can release your own music, you can have everything on a forum with other artists that you don't need a label to get your music out there. Chance the Rapper, Lil Nas X. There's a lot of famous people that came up through this SoundCloud model, which is also something we didn't see back in the day either. So it's cool to see not just the freedom for artists to be behind the scenes, but also not dependent on a record label always.
Absolutely. One of the first ones I recall of this like non-traditional path where they usually go through like a record company, they get discovered somehow and go through a record company. I guess ultimately they all end up on a major distributor, but him coming up through SoundCloud. I remember Carmen. Do you remember that group?
No.
Oh gosh, all their song names are escaping me, but it was a male and a female. The female did all the singing, but they were like a YouTube group that before long you heard. Oh, Hello was one of their big songs. Hello. I'm not going to sing it. But
Okay.
She was like a kind of like a rapper who could also sing, and they blew up on YouTube. And then before you knew it, they were on the radio all the time. And it was like really cool to see like, oh, wow, this is a different path for somebody to take. And, you almost kind of respect it a little bit more.
Yeah, it's a lot of perception, very non-traditional.
And everything about this video is non-traditional. I don't really use TikTok at all, but a lot of this video and the next video on our next episode that we're going to talk about give me that like TikTok editing rhythm where it's just like rapid cuts, and you don't necessarily have to have a streamlined narrative logic. You just kind of like establish it through these like fast vignettes over and over again. We did Closer by Nine Inch Nails, which is also these vignettes. It was like very slow paced, whereas these are like lightning fast, like maybe less than a second each.
Yeah, and it's funny because I think that's like I've watched a few of his other videos, and maybe this is a trend with these kind of like new homemade artists where maybe he made this video low budget. His style in the videos, very non-narrative, like you said, but also is always in the shot. So Closer, all these other videos, even, ones we'll talk down the line, it's not just that, but like it's a recurring theme. He's always kind of, maybe not in the center, but near the center, but it's always him looking at the camera, doing something, and then it switches to a scene and then switches to a scene. And it's not, I wouldn't say a bad thing, but it does feel very visually restricted where, especially in this video, a lot of them is just slow zoom out while all the action's happening around them. And then later, like the zoom in and just kind of a lot of like visual things to look at, like you said, kind of for the TikTok. And that's probably why he's in the center frame too. So you can like crop it for TikTok without having much of a loss of having your artist in the middle. But yeah, it just, and I did like the video, but it was just kind of interesting to watch the putting a lot of stuff in this video, but you're still kind of the center and there is no narrative storyline.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, he's the product, right? So you got to have him in the center.
Yeah. And I think that's what the YouTubers, or like not even the YouTubers, but the people like artists that are up and coming these days feel like when they make some of their videos that aren't going to be maybe probably like narrative style, is you put yourself in there always in the middle and just have some kind of silliness that happens around you while you make your video.
I know we haven't really touched it on this podcast yet, but I think the Kendrick Lamar, the Humble video is very similar, right? Where he's like constantly in the middle and we see things moving around him.
Yeah, exactly. But at least that one has like more movement, right? This one's everything, I feel like the camera is always static. They're not putting the camera on anything to move it around, which is good. I mean, again, if you're making this video quickly, low budget, you just set up your phone, start doing all your filming. The visuals and like the different settings. So like you said, hang out with a lot of stockbrokers, and then he's on his own private jet with Ironmouse. I didn't really get the little doll reference, but there's like little dolls in there. Then they cut into some silly scenes. They do include another rapper with kind of like that grassroots SoundCloud style, Young Gravy, when you're like kind of playing the banjo. He's the guy on the left. So, there are some references to real kind of either friends or local creators within his sphere. But then we also get that scene, which I think is like a reference to Nine Inch Nails Closer, speaking of when he's attached to that little device and they use that color tone similar to the Nine Inch Nails. And then even when they blow the fan in his face while he's talking, felt like very Nine Inch Nails Closer video, right?
I thought the exact same thing. And so I like watched this over and over again, just that specific scene to try to figure it out. It was a struggle to figure out what that machine is even called. We were talking before this, just for the audience here. I was trying to figure it out and I asked Google, the Gemini or whatever. I was like, what is this kind of device? And I described it the best I could as like, are you talking about like a rotary telephone? No, I understand what a rotary phone is. But thanks. The best I could get is it's an EEG electrodes attached to a neuromapping headset. But once I figured that out, I was like, okay, so we're measuring the entertainer is what we're doing. We're like personality profiling. Again, the human is the product. His identity is an avatar. And we shift back into that VTuber thing, right? But it definitely had the Nine Inch Nails Closer vibe, right? He's connected to something at some point, right?
Yeah, and again, there's a lot of repeat of the scenes, but it's fine because they're in and out. He's in a office building with a bunch of crumbled up pieces of paper and a Speedo. Reading about him, he used to be a swimmer. He wanted to be a professional swimmer, actually, which if you look at him, you're like, okay, yeah, he's tall. He's like got that figure that you could do laps, and he had a back injury that put him out of the professional career, which means he pursued music as the alternative. So I feel like there's references to that when he's like looking at the aquarium and the little fish.
I had it in my notes. He's in great shape and he wants us to know it. There's a lot of that in this.
Definitely. And then I liked, again, a lot of the little, I don't know if I call them Easter eggs, but little things like he has an Internet Explorer belt buckle, which for people who don't remember, Internet Explorer was the Microsoft browser before Edge. So it's kind of cool little callbacks there. And he's wearing kind of silly outfits here and there. And I really like when the vials say the like 1-800 whatever as it goes across, as they're putting the little test tubes in the thing. I thought that was a cool little like breakup of the video because again, it's usually just his face in and out.
Yeah. And again, the artist is the product, right? We're like better living through science. We're improving him through these little chemical test tubes. I think they really drove that home in this video and I loved it. It also kind of has that hip hop flex culture where you show like how good you're doing. You know, you're sitting on a Lamborghini or doing stuff like that. And so we get that in the airplane. You know, I think there's one or two other places, but it has almost like a goofy wink to it. He's not like a comedian, but it had like a fun, not taking himself too seriously vibe.
And I think that's like his whole vibe. Because I mean, the song is a fun little ditty. He's a rapper that's making these fun, like little jingles and videos that are earworms or songs, I should say. And 1-800, you know, is a perfect song you probably hear at the club where you just hear it in the background playing and you're like, oh, this is fun. You can dance to it. You can really get into the beat. But it's not the serious rappers that you see on some of the other songs or on the other stations or even music videos, right?
Yeah, he's not going to rap battle Eminem or anything like that. Speaking of the song, something that kind of struck out to me, it's basically one chord the entire song. It does have one other chord that it like uses for accent, just like the tail of every like stanza. But it's mostly just one chord the entire song. There's not a lot of musicality to it. It just kind of uses like this weird syncopated, I want to call it a verve, but what's like synth almost.
Yeah.
Just kind of uses that as like the only thing driving it other than the melody. Or not melody, sorry. That's other than the drums. You know what I realized? Do you know what timbre is? So there's different ways you can describe a noise or a sound. You know, one is like pitch, one is volume. Timbre means what it sounds like. Why does a violin sound different than a xylophone or a trumpet? If you think of the characteristic of that note. So that's really what changes the most. That changes more than the melody or anything else, is it just keeps taking the same rhythm synth and changing the synth enough to like, oh, now we're in the chorus and now we're in the bridge, but it's all the same thing all the way through, which is very interesting that they could keep it exciting for, 3 minutes or however long the song is. But that almost like made me think of TikTok again, that this repetitiveness that's just punching different things out, like looping it over and over again. I think it works great in this. For a rap song, I feel like I hear most of the lyrics and like comprehend them like as they're said in this one, which, shout out. We got a little Cotton Eye Joe reference in this one. I was like, who's that for? Like, I guess for my generation.
It's so 90s, right? Everything 90s is so in right now, and all the creators are doing 90s references. There's just a very big nostalgic push for 90s stuff for like the past few years, and it seems to be sticking. So I guess kudos for us to see all the stuff we remember as kids.
Yeah, 90s were great.
Exactly, for the most part. Anything else for this one?
No, it's not really a coherent story, but I think that was part of the point. It's not a story, it's a product. It's a post-internet spectacle. I like it. I think it's a real fun video. Great job, bbno.
Yeah, bbno, you definitely got some cool videos. Because this one was fun, and if you watch any of the other ones, again, they're fun. They keep you engaged. They are simplistic in the sense that it's just like him focused in and out, but they're fun, and you get to enjoy kind of that chaos that's well choreographed around him.
Absolutely.
Well, that means time for some trivia. Baby No Money, of course, is a fairly new artist for us. I wasn't going to try to compare his life to maybe some other artists. So I decided to switch it up for this one, and we're going to go with songs that have numbers in the title.
Oh, okay.
You can either name the artist or the song. We'll keep it simple, or bonus points if you name both.
Okay, I like it.
So we'll start maybe easy, probably very famous, or most famous maybe on this list. This video features a famous phone number and heavy MTV rotation, with the band performing a brightly lit room as teams obsess over Jenny.
8675309 by Tommy Two Tones.
Wow, yes, double win. Very famous. I know the song. I wouldn't have been able to spout the number or who the artist is, but very famous early 80s pop song.
The reason I know the artist is because of Family Guy. There's a Stewie joke where he's trying to remember his own phone number and he keeps dialing 8675309. He's like, damn you, Tommy Two Tones.
Good old Stewie keeping us informed.
Yeah.
Okay, this stark black and white video helped define MTV's early 90s aesthetic and features buffalo running in slow motion. This is a tricky one, but the band also has a number in their name. If that helps.
It can't be Blink-182 if they're early. Also, I don't think I've seen that. Buffaloes. Let's see. Green Day 76 or nah. Man, I was about to say Four Non-Blondes, but golly. Well,
I will say it's an artist that we never really talk about, and I don't think we don't like them, but we don't listen to them, if that helps.
Man, I do not think I've seen
Irish. Does that help?
Oh, okay. So it's U2. Now I got to think of a U2 song with a number in it. With Streets. One Night? No, wait.
One is the name of the song. You're close enough. The song is called One. It's by U2. Yeah. Again, it was tough to have that as the second question, especially because we don't listen to a lot of YouTube, but very famous song. And actually, it's a good music video. I've seen the music video.
Yeah, no points for that one.
You might have even lost points. This Cold War era video shows balloons floating across borders, symbolizing political tension and becoming a staple on early MTV.
99 Luftballons by Nina.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
That was a slam dunk. This late 90s video features singer Rob Thomas wandering through surreal scenarios during a sleepless night.
3 a.m. by Matchbox 20.
Perfect, yep. All right. This Prince video, set in a dystopian future, was heavily rotated on MTV leading up to the actual year of its title.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. 1999.
Yes. All right. This iconic MTV video featured a diner scene and working class storytelling tied to a daily grind schedule.
9 to 5 by Dolly Parton.
There you go. All right. This video features Stevie Nicks becoming an MTV staple in the early 80s.
So I've never seen this video, but if it's Stevie Nicks, it's got to be Edge of 17.
Yes. This video features the band performing while walking through city streets, matching the theme of long-distance devotion.
I've seen the video before, but I don't remember that part. But I just got to say 500 Miles by... Oh, what's the name of that band? No, I was just teaching my daughter this on piano, which is the saddest part. I can't remember the name of the band, but 500 Miles by the Proclaimers.
Yes. I'm going to be 500 Miles by the Proclaimers.
Yeah. I'm going to be the man who comes home to you. Are they Australian? They sound Australian, right?
They do sound Australian. I don't know. They definitely feel like they're Scottish, but they definitely felt like one-hit wonder band.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you're not a Beatles fan, so you might not know any of their songs, actually. So I'm going to skip this one, unless you can name any Beatles song with a number in it. The one in this trivia question is about
42 Abbey Road.
This one's them being old, if that helps at all, but
Yesterday? But that's not a
no.
number. No.
Okay, it's When I'm 64 by the Beatles.
Never
Which
would have gotten
didn't have an original music video. Yeah. Okay, let's see if we can get you something easier. This nostalgic video includes vintage imagery and helps cement the mythos around a famous summer year.
Oh my God.
Think of a summer.
So I guess summer of 69?
Yes, there you go.
Okay. I was about to say 1985 by Bowling for Soup.
Oh gosh.
It's mythos doesn't sound like the right word for that.
Yeah, that was a little more. Well, 1969 was a pretty famous year. So, do you remember who sings it?
Bryan Adams?
Yep.
No, it's Bryan Adams.
No, you're right. Yep, it is Bryan. This one, okay, I don't know the song, but this features a comedic storytelling about heartbreak solutions.
Well, let's see. 50 Ways to Leave Your Lover?
Yeah, there you go. I don't even know if I know that song, but good job.
By Paul Simon.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, let's give one more. Directed by Spike Jonze, this video helped define late 90s MTV creativity from this rap group.
Ooh, okay. Interesting. So Spike Jonze, late 90s. It's got a number in the name of the song. Okay. That's tricky.
Well, actually, I'll help. There's 2 numbers in the title.
Oh my God. I don't think that helps at all.
I don't know if you know this song. I'll give you a hint. The artist is Beastie Boys.
I'd kind of gone to Beastie Boys, but which is weird. I don't know why, but I guess Spike Jonze did a little bit of work with them. Late 90s. So we're looking at the Intergalactic record.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the name of the song.
Okay, the song is 3 MCs and 1 DJ.
Yeah, would not have gotten that.
Yeah. I don't even know. I mean, obviously it was a song they made a music video for, so it was released as a single, but I don't know if it was a big enough one that you would have known it.
Yeah, unfortunately not. I did know Intergalactic.
That's true. That's a good song too. There's just so many good videos out there, but that one's a really fun one that we'll need to cover one day.
Yeah, during the robot uprising.
Yeah. When we're forced to, when AI singularity hits and we have to convert all our episodes into robots.
Then it's about a robot, right?
Exactly. So no, that's good. We'll have to talk about it.
Yeah.
All right. I think you did pretty good on that one. Most of them you got. Some of the harder ones were hard, not just because of the question, but just because you didn't know maybe the artist or the song. It is funny. Like, I know U2 is huge and I like some of their songs. They're not like people I actively listen to. So they usually fall off my radar of memory of bands and songs.
Myself as well. And what's weird is actually I was listening to one of the U2 songs right before we recorded this, which is crazy, but it's the Mission Impossible theme. So it doesn't really count. U2, oddly enough, were like big right before I got into music. And then they like kind of had a falling off. Like they did that Discotheque album, which is like globally panned.
Oh, interesting.
Not like that album. And every now and then, like every like 10 years or maybe a little less, I'm like, was it really that bad? And I go back and listen. I was like, oh yeah, this is bad. Far jump from like their earlier stuff. But they had some really good early stuff. Like Streets with No Names and Bloody Sunday.
Yeah. Joshua Tree has a lot of good hits. I mean, it's just, they do have solid work. And I think also a lot of people remember them now because of the iTunes or iPod.
Oh, yes.
Kerfuffle of like them being preloaded into everyone's iPod at the time. And that caused such a big thing.
Oh, and you like couldn't delete it, right? Or it would like, you could delete it, but then every time you like connected your phone to your computer, it would re-add it. It was something weird.
It was, it was like, they just didn't make it easy for you to remove it, which was a shame. Well, you recommended this episode. I knew bbno or bbno money, but I didn't really follow a lot of its videos. So thanks for that recommendation.
Yeah, this is a fun one. I'm glad we got to do this. And we don't have an 800 number, but make sure that you go to our website, rewindandreact.com, or find us on social media. We're always looking for new videos to cover. Go to our website or send us a social media message to recommend other ones that you might like.